could hear me twice. I believe you could hear an echo. Maybe hearing me once is enough. In fact, good morning, everyone. Let's just assume that some of you are just watching this for the first moment. Good morning. This is how you can get an A+ in confidence. Right now, let me ask you a question on a scale of 1 to 10. Confident, do you feel? What does the word confident mean? It means trusting yourself. How much would you back yourself? Would you put money on it? Would you put money on yourself to achieve the things in your life that you want to achieve? Your goals, your dreams, your ambitions. Here we go. That's easy for me to do now. Thank you for joining me. Like I said, we had a few technical challenges this morning, but we like a challenge, right? Because where I come from, and that's called opportunities make me stronger. You stronger, and we just had a few challenges with one of our cameras. But we're just going to make the most of the situation, because there's something in life that we're all told from a very early age, that fairy tales, movies, happily ever after. But the reality of life is we're not living happily ever after. What? What's wrong?
The screen keeps flashing.
Which screen?
Our screen. Judas as well. The screen.
That might be on her.
Yeah.
There's so many people out there that just.
It's flickering, and it's about 4 or 5 minutes.
Some of you are just watching this for the first moment. Good morning. Well, there's me there. Look. That's not flickering where I'm watching it. That might be on her.
Intermittent.
Yeah, so it is flickering. Everyone can hear Jerry now, isn't that? I suppose that's something. Let's just carry on, because hopefully you guys can hear me. And this is life. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. And this is really interesting to me, because the work I'm doing at the moment with my clients and with our community people is actually making people aware that it's okay to have those feelings. It's not about being confident all the time. It's not about being happy all the time. And it's actually quite challenging for us to be that way, because of the mechanism, the equipment that we have, and how you are hardwired. You are hardwired to be on your guard, to look out for problems. Look out for problems. If there was something wrong, there's an alert system that just wakes up inside you. And that is a way for us to survive. If you hadn't had that, your forefathers wouldn't have made it here. They had to look out for problems, danger, challenges. We still have that mechanism, but we activate it far too much. And there's nothing wrong with feeling those ways. But what so many of us just do not know how to do, because we weren't taught how to do it, is to manage those emotions. Because confidence is just a feeling. And we're going to be looking at this morning at the 7 A's, so that by you looking at the 7 A's, you could get an A+. An A+. How many A+ did you ever get at school? Me? None. I don't remember ever getting an A+. I was not a very good student. I hated school, to be honest. I thought it was the biggest waste of time. Of all the things I've ever done in my life, that was the biggest waste of time. In fact, the only thing I liked doing was physical education. But at my secondary school, all the teachers were on strike for anything outside of the curriculum. So for 3 years, we didn't do any activity outside of school, which is what I would love to have done, because I liked sport. So it was a waste of time for me. I left school with a zen-ness in confidence. I had so many insecurities about myself that had been manifested by being in a school that basically was telling me I needed an A+ to be someone, and I was never going to get that. So what did I do? In fact, I probably would have got an A+ if I'd had some decent teachers, but I didn't have any teachers who inspired me. None of them. They were quite nice. Some of them were quite nice people, but not one of those teachers I looked at and go, I want to learn from you. And maybe you want to learn from me. I have no idea. The fact that I've dedicated my life to finding answers for people just like you. And by the way, even though I hated school, I've 1 O level, I've no A levels, I've got 3 degrees, I've written 18 books, currently writing our 19th book at the moment, which is called Inspirators, which is all about you becoming an inspired leader in your own life. So when it comes to confidence, happiness, there's always a formula. There's always a way. And what I'm going to show you right now is the 7 A's. And if you apply this is not the answer, by the way, but this could be a route into you building your confidence. And please bear in mind what I'm saying here, because confidence is something that you build. You will never feel confident all the time because you will feel worry, fear, doubt, sadness, depression. It's part of just being a human being that we have that ability. It's always going to happen, but you can influence those emotions. You can influence, you can learn how to allow to experience. And this is kind of what we're going to be looking at today. So the first A is just awareness, to become aware, right? And most people are just completely unaware. So many of us are looking outside of ourselves at everything that is going on in the world. We're just looking. We get so stimulated by everything that's going on that sometimes we find it very hard just to stop and look at what is going on and to become aware of what you're doing to yourself. And it's not your fault. It's really important that you understand that. It's not your fault. There's nothing defective with you, apart from the fact that there's something defective with all of us, which is we don't live forever and we are not perfect. And it's really, really essential if you want to get an A+ in confidence to become aware that with you, but just to become aware of there's something going on in the background, right? There is going on in the background right now where you are, whatever you're doing, there's probably something else going on in the background. Maybe your children are shouting, maybe that you're watching something in the background, you're looking at something else. I haven't really got your full attention, but that's okay. There's something else going on. And now talking to yourself. There you go. You can hear it. You think you're the only one that does that? But have you ever really become aware to the point where you realize, hang on a second, whoa, 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 whoa. There's some really interesting information. Some people might think it's dark, it's not nice. But if you become aware of this first, and a lot of people don't want to become aware of this. This is why people don't like doing meditation. They don't like becoming aware of what is going on in the background. But if you don't become aware of what's going on in the background, how the hell do you think you're ever going to change it? You're waiting to win the lottery rather than taking ownership of what is going on. You need to acknowledge this. That's the second there, acknowledge. I'm not sure if I'm going to be spelling this word correctly. I think I might have. That's the number one. Number two, you've got to acknowledge it. You've got to acknowledge it. It's because it's happening. If you don't acknowledge it, it manifests, it builds up. And this is where so many people have massive issues. This is why we've got so many mental health problems in the world, because people aren't aware. They don't acknowledge it. They don't audit it. This is what we're doing. This is what my coach said to me many years ago when he used to fly over here from Dallas and spend time with me. I spent 16 years working with my coach. He said, let's do an audit. Let's audit your life. Let's audit all of the areas in your life. Let's audit your health and your well-being. Let's audit your family, your friends, your relationships, and let's audit your work. Let's audit it and actually become aware of what is going on inside here and what is it that's going on behind you that is manifesting that you want to happen in your life. To audit it is just looking at the different areas and realize, what is this costing me? This negative self-talk, because invariably what it is, it revolves thoughts and feelings. Thoughts and feelings. In most cases, thoughts start, you have a thought of something, I can't do this, it won't work. It brings about a feeling. And the feeling, many of us suppress the feeling rather than looking to expand the feeling, which we'll look at in a moment. That might seem a bit crazy to you, but if you expand something, you can use it rather than letting it just manifest. This is why we have so many issues in the world. And then accept it. If you don't accept it, guess what you're going to do? If you don't accept it, guess what you're going to do? You're going to deny it. You're going to deny it. Do you want to live in denial? Do you? Do you? So I know some of you think, well, you can't handle. You can handle it. You can handle it. To this point, you're here, you're alive. You can handle it. You can do it. Especially if you surround yourself with some pretty awesome people. That can help you. Get yourself a coach, even if it's someone you can talk to. You're not alone. Good thing to, to write some of this stuff down. Got to accept the fact that you are more than this. You think you're more than what you say to yourself? Accept the fact that you're watching this right now. You don't have to watch this. Go and do something else if you really want to. But you're accepting the fact that it's happening, but accept the fact that you can change. You can change. You've changed many lifetimes. You've changed your clothes. You've changed. I didn't have any control in that process, but it's happening. Accept the fact. If you don't, you're in trouble. And you don't want trouble because you don't have to be. Life can be fantastic, amazing, especially when you wake up and realize that you can be authentic. Right? What does that mean? Well, part of this word means the author. You're writing your life today. You're writing your life. Here you are. What you're doing today and what you do after this, you're writing your story. Your story. To be authentic is to realize, well, what sort of story do I want to create? And this is where maybe only 2% of people in the whole world can tell the story they create. They'll say, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. And I don't just mean for a day or for a week or this. I know I'm going on holiday this year. Great. Fantastic. Have a great time. But what is it that you want to do with your life? What is the mark? What is the imprint that you want to leave on this earth? I'm sorry if this is coming across a little bit intense, but this is your life we're talking about. And does your life matter? Does it have meaning? Does it have value? Well, if you start to think about, and this is one of the I believe people need coaching because they're not because they're not doing any of these that are coming before this. They're not dreaming. They're not about their thinking about the person that they want to become. This is really, 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 really important. What's the sixth way? It's to act or action. It's the same thing. Without any action, you're not going to get action. Taking consistent action, and part of that, and those of you that are members of our elite community, we're going to be looking at this week how to diffuse yourself, because so many of us are fused. Remember, confidence is a feeling. They talk about this in the football. Oh, he doesn't look very confident. He didn't turn up today. What's that mean? It all means to what the hell are these people saying to themselves? And who knows? England might play football tomorrow against Colombia to get into the quarterfinals of the World Cup. And some of those players might be having different conversations inside their head that they've had in every single major championship ever since I can remember. How do I know this? Because I've worked with multiple world champions and I know what people say to themselves and the impact that has. If someone goes out onto the football pitch and goes, this is really important, I hope I don't make a mistake, or I hope it doesn't go to penalties and I miss. And then we wonder what sort of impact that has on us. Your life is a direct correlation. Think about this, a direct correlation of what you're saying to yourself. Change what you're saying to yourself, you will change your life. But it's not something that you just do once or twice. And this is why people need coaching. They're never consistent with this. Never. They'll take action for a bit and then their enthusiasm just goes out the back. And that's why My 365 is the #1 coaching opportunity in the world, because I show up every single day making your journey to create the life that you want that little bit easy. I can't do it for you, and nor can the amazing people in this community. They can't do it for you either. But I tell you what, we can help you. We can support you. Whether we work with you or not, you apply these ideas to your life will never, ever be the same again. So what's number 7? What is number 7? You want to keep doing this until it becomes automatic. That's all. How many do you have in your life? How many habits do you have? How many things do you do in your life that are automatic? Maybe some of the things you do in your life are automatic, like you look in the mirror and you say things to yourself that immediately start you on a downward spiral. This morning, we've got some Toblerone in the house. I love Toblerone, but part of the reason I buy it, I know this might sound crazy to some people, I like to test myself. How long can I keep it and not eat it? How much can I practice delayed gratification? But the thought came into my head this morning. God knows where that thought came from. Why not have a piece of Toblerone at 4:10 this morning? That thought came into my head, and interesting. Applying all of it. That's aware, acknowledging I'm feeling it. Where's that come from? My childhood. I love chocolate. Many people do. I accepted it. I thought, who's the person I want to become? Do I want to be the person that's having chocolate at 4 o'clock in the morning? What did I say to myself? I just said to myself, that's interesting. That's interesting. Thanks for that suggestion. So I acted upon it. And I'm so good at this. And you know what I do? And this is the bonus of this. Recognize when you're doing it. Achievement. Human beings love to achieve. The biggest achievement you'll ever have in your life is to practice this stuff. Just to practice it. Practice, practice, practice. And it's constant work. And it's being disciplined with your discipline. Because none of this is complicated, but it requires a commitment from you. And it's so much easier to make that commitment when you're compelled to move towards something. Does this make sense? What's your biggest takeaway from what I've just said? Imagine teaching this in schools. In fact, I'm giving a talk to a physical education conference on Wednesday. And boy, that's going to be so interesting. I'm actually at St. George's Park. I will be watching the England football game on Tuesday night at the home of football, the home of FA. So that's going to be really interesting and fun and enjoyable. But PE teachers, wow, they've got a real struggle on their hands because PE has just been given, it's being marginalized. And I was going to say, I will say to them, how many of you can see a brighter future where physical education is given the space that is needed? How many of you are excited by that you could see that physical education was the first thing I did at school, the last thing I did at school for an hour in the morning? Imagine that. I can see it, but if I didn't see that, what would be the point of going into school every day? You know, to have goals, have dreams, have ambitions is what your life is about. You are a teleological person. What does that mean? It means you're goal orientated. But so many of us, we've given up on our goals and our dreams and our ambitions. But I can tell you one thing. So many of our My 365 members, they haven't. And they are changing their life like I have never seen ever in my whole world of working with people who want to change their life. What I'm seeing people doing is incredible. People who are applying these principles. How groundbreaking is this to you? You might want to watch this broadcast again, but I want to personally thank you for showing up here this morning. And if you want to help me, share this. Share this right now. Let this appear on someone else's timeline let this appear on your timeline. You never know who's going to watch this. Because why are we settling for second best? You know why we're settling for second best in our life? Because we're frightened. We're frightened to step into the light and be the person that we truly could be. Trying to do all of that on your own is very difficult because no man is an island. No one person is a company. No one person is a family. No one person is a country. Thank you for watching this morning. I really appreciate it, especially with our technical challenges. What's your biggest takeaway from what I've just said? What are you going to do differently today? I really appreciate you. And as I end this broadcast, please understand one thing. Your future is unwritten. It's not written. And you have that power to change. To tap into that power, it does take some dedication. It does take some hard work, but you can do it. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day. And for our elite members, get ready because we're going to expand on this week. If you're not one of our elite members, click on the link in this post and go and find out what My 365 Elite is, how it works, what it can do for you to revolutionize your life today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.